Hello, everybody, and namaste. Welcome. I hope you are having a beautiful day wherever you're at. My name is Asrael, and I'm coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee, on a really beautiful and warm and cloudy day. But yeah, we had a week of a lot of cold last week, and the cold weather always sort of chills me to my core and allows a lot of stuff to move. And it really brings to mind, I think, which so many of us are going through at this time of year. I know it's a little bit different for those of you down in Australia. You're entering summer, but for us in the northern hemisphere, it's sort of this time, right, to go deep, to go inward, and to really see what's wanting to sort of arise. It's a time that, on one level, is filled with lots of joy and connection, or the potential for that, as we gather for the holidays. And on another level, it's a time where sometimes a lot of stuff can come up to be moved, to be processed, and to be presenced. And so, just letting you know that if you're noticing perhaps deeper awarenesses coming up at this time of year, you're noticing different feelings, whether it be melancholy or grief or anger and frustration, that this is really normal and that you're not alone, right? Sort of like we don't get that vitamin D, the sunshine as much, we don't get as much light, and we're really being asked, right, to slow down. And now for a lot of us, we don't slow down. Um, but when we do make that choice, or even just give ourselves permission to go over the dark a little bit more, oftentimes it can bring up like the stuff we've been holding on to and processing for the last 6 months of sunshine and summer. And so, really wanting to let you know that it's really normal to feel these waves and to go into more of a hibernation state, in a state where things can be processed and presenced a little bit. Um, I'm trying to think where I really wanted to start today, other than that. Um, let's start with a short meditation. Again, I know those of you that are driving, you're not going to be able to close your eyes, but just follow along with your mind and know that you'll be tuning in with us. And then for those of you that are able to at home, I'm going to invite you to soften and settle into the body. One of the biggest things, actually two of the biggest things we can do, is number one, come into a space where we're actually in our bodies. And I always try to remind myself and my clients of that. And then the second thing that we can do is really open us up to deeper connection to what is true. And that truth is not our stories. It's not like the play that we're living in, right? Whether it's easy or challenging right now. It's that connection to nature, and it's that connection to consciousness. And so even tapping into that for a few moments can really, really open things up for us, and be that beacon of light that brings us closer to home and to contentment and center and connection. So let's take a moment and close our eyes if we're able to. Maybe bringing our hands down to the tops of our thighs, palms down. Okay. Giving space for grounding and also connection into that physical realm, this physical body. And maybe taking a big breath in and opening your mouth. And what are you ready to let go of right now? Just sigh it out. Let's do this two more times, just breathing in nice and big. Maybe even imagining that we're breathing all the way in from our root chakra up into the crown. And then what are you ready to let go of? Just exhaling, sighing out. And one last time, allowing the breath to come from the earth, to come from the roots beneath us. Breathing all the way in this beautiful grounded energy. Holding the breath for a moment. And then giving yourself permission to just let go. And then as you let go of that breath, imagine that you were sitting in a circle of light with 1,000 other beings, maybe 5,000 other beings, maybe more. And in this circle, and in the center of the circle of light, is the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful crystal that you could imagine. Shining and glowing bright. This amazing color of light. It might be white, it might be rose, it might be a different color that I haven't even mentioned. And notice that this crystal is moving in a circular direction in the center of the circle. And feel it pulsating with beauty and power and light, grounded expansion. And then take your palms and turn your palms so that they're facing upward. And imagine in your palms that there was the same color of light that this crystal was exuding, that it was connected. And then notice in your body, or notice in your energy field, in your emotional field, where you might be needing some healing right now, some balancing. And again, notice you're not the only one here. There's many other people in this circle with their own color and their own light connected to their own crystal. And yet that crystal is right in the center for us all. We're going to take 3 breaths now. And as you breathe in through the hands, breathe in the light of this crystal. Breathe in the light of this color. And breathe it in through the cells, and the meridians, and the energy and the space of your body. And allow that energy to flow and to shine through all your cells. As you exhale, just let the light expand through you. We're going to do this 2 more times. Maybe noticing if there's areas of tenderness or of stickiness, and really allowing this colored light to flow there. And notice how things are changing within. 1 more breath. And then as you let the breath go, feel the radiance in your body. Feel the grounded joy and expansion. And take your left hand and just hold it out to your left. And take your right hand and hold it out to your right, palm down of the right hand. Okay. And imagine that you were connected in the circle with another beautiful, bright being next to you. Your right hand shining energy down, and your left hand receiving energy through this circle. And let's just take 1 more big breath of universal love. As you exhale, expand this light through the heart to the center of the circle, inviting it to open into the entire world. And then giving gratitude and thanks to this life, to all the beings meditating with us today, and to this beautiful moment. Feel free to open your eyes, or bring your hands back to your lap, and just take a few moments and allow yourself to be. So, I invite you not to rush and to just allow yourself to notice What happens when we slow down and come into our body? What happens when we open to the fractal experience of light? And what happens when we open into greater and more expanded collective consciousness? It's that simple. Mm. Every month, I offer a journey. The next one is January 8th at Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's free for those of you who haven't joined before. And it's called The Gathering of Light. And we open into all these powerful things. So feel free to come next time. Find out more about it on my website, asrael.love, or my Facebook page, facebook.com/asrael.love. So let's open up into questions. I believe we have Danny in Edmonton, Canada on the phone, and I would love to connect. So whenever you're ready, Danny, it's lovely to meet you.
It's very lovely to meet you too. It was just exactly like the light and the love that I needed to hear today.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I feel like I needed it too. Yeah. So how can I support?
I'm an empath also, and I like my third eye is open too, but I'm not open to using my abilities to help people. So I really commend you for that, because it does take a lot of energy. And just learning little things like the breathing technique, and you got the rose color and the white color like spot on. That was exactly the colors I was thinking of.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. It's interesting, right? Because so much of what I do, like, it just comes through the collective, right? And I always trust it's what people need and what people needs, and yeah, I just sort of open to that flow. So yeah,
like it's what they need to hear. Like, you're meant to be where you're needed.
Yes, exactly.
And
so
I've been struggling a lot lately with like my mental health. But the thing is, I'm writing a book right now, right? And to me, it's not only writer's block, but I have so much like going on in my head. Like, how do I quiet down I haven't really been into meditation, but it's a really bad writer's block. It's like where I want to get it out of my throat and into my pen. Sometimes I can go and sometimes I can go, and then sometimes I can't write for like a month. And I've had so much like hateful energy coming my way. And I'm learning myself how to just let it be, let it go. But how do I get this writer's block, like, just like to pray to the souls that come before us to just give me a little bit of guidance into which direction I need to go, or should I go?
yeah, I really hear you very much, Danny. A couple things come through for you, and yeah, so I'll just share, and then I might take a few minutes or moments and tune in silently and see what just comes through as I tune in a little bit more. So the number one thing is, collectively we are in such a pause. And I think with writing as it is anyways, right, there's that space where there are the writing blocks, or there's the moments when the energy just wants to flow. I'm laughing a little bit because I'm in the middle of writing a book right now, and I'm like, well, if it's not moving, I can't do it, right? And so there's the days where it moves and the days when it doesn't. But as you said, this is like for longer, right? Like there's periods like a month or more where you're noticing the blocks or the lack of clarity. Even though it sounds like there's the clarity that there's things that you want to express and that are wanting to be expressed through you. And that brings to mind just some of what's going on in the collective, right? And this energy in the collective that really is at a standstill on some levels. Things are always moving, and yet it's sort of like we were in overdrive for a while. And the past couple years, it's like, oh, that's not working the same way, or we're not able to have the direction or the clarity, I would say, even so. And I feel like it's part of like the collective rebirthing we're in. And so I think that's part of it. I think part of it is that as hard as it is, you're not supposed to have clarity right now. It's there's a sense of like the clarity is still coming into play. The exact path or the exact energy that wants to move through, it's sort of like not right timing for. And I'm speaking for this on a collective level more than just for you. I'm seeing it with many of my clients. I'm seeing it for myself, I'll be honest, in many ways. It's just we're in a reforming. It's almost like we're being forged right in the fire right now. And we're in the fire, which can feel really dark and heavy. As you said, the mental health, struggling with it a little bit because there's an emptying out, there's a scouring that's happening on a really, really deep level. Now, when I tune into you, and two of the things that came really clearly is number one, is there's something really important and valuable about dropping down some roots, especially from that throat area, even from the third eye area. I feel your openness, I feel your expansiveness there, and some of what's being blocked, right, is in the throat and in the expression, and so it's and we'll do this together. I'm not gonna just tell you what to do. We'll actually I'll walk you through a little something.
Yeah.
But well, we can try and drop this grounding cord down into the earth, maybe even into an area of your body first. We'll just see what happens. And then there's something about presencing and opening to the energy in the throat and even in the energy in the heart, right? And being able
Yeah.
to presence on some level what's there, and then also open into a little bit of gentle purification. And today, because of our time, we won't work on any purification in the heart, but I feel like we will in the throat area. And so
Okay.
yeah, let's start with that. And so then the other thing that just comes, I really want to tell you, this is more like a message for you. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not bad, and it's not you who's holding things up. It's not like you're being lazy, and you're not being because that's how the mindset we can get in, right? I should be doing this better, I should be doing more. And I just your guides,
Yeah.
higher self, are saying no, 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 like you are doing great. And so any judgment on the timing or the timeline, or that's coming from other people, it's like it's you are in alignment with your path and with the timing of it. And so just letting you know, like there's a lot of support, and in the guides and in the angels and in that realm for you. So okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was told
Yeah.
rose quartz for the throat chakra. Is that correct?
you
Like,
you were
I'm
told
not
what?
new to it, but rose quartz would like I'm not really
Yeah.
into the crystal thing either. Right now, I'm just doing
Yeah.
prayers to my guides and my ancestors and stuff. And I don't know, something's got to give. And I'm at this point now in my life where it's either going to change for the better or it's going to get worse. And I'm sick of the mundane life to life, not enjoying it anymore.
Yeah,
So
it
I
is
think
going to
this
get
is my
better.
crossroads. This is my book. It is. Yeah, I know. Eventually, everything does. It's just this book that I'm
Yeah.
really like. I'm not taking my time on it, and I feel like when I rush through it, it's just like now the sentences aren't making sense. That makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, so what comes to me
Am I
around
going to
that,
get
and
my
again, rose quartz is fine for the throat chakra. we'll see what comes when we do this few minutes of energy work. I'll let you know if anything else comes. But I think even if you're rushing, like again, so even if you're rushing and you're getting it out on paper, it's like that's fine to do.
Yeah.
But to know that you might come back to it, you might come back and say, "Oh, that I don't need that. I don't need that." Right? And so
Yeah.
don't be
Yes.
attached to what actually comes out. One of the things there is an ancestor that's very present with you. She's a grandmother, or she's in a grandmother lineage type ancestor. So I don't believe that she's your recent grandmother. She's way back, maybe 2, 3 generations back. And in that in that and in with her, she's there, she's got your back. I see her really holding the space for you. She's also sort of like holding a space to smudge the energy and to bring you gentle purification. And she's just asking you like to connect with her whenever you need to ground, and she's there to sort of help both connect you to spirit and bring you down to earth and down to
Yeah.
the grounded earth. And yeah, so what I'd like to do, and what I do, I will just say, I think that I'm going to use the rest of the time for our call. I'd like to do that just so that any other callers, I would love to be with you next time, but I'm definitely not in the mood to rush right now. So what I'd like to do is just
Yeah.
take a few minutes. Oh,
Okay.
I stalled there
Hello,
for a
can you
moment.
hear me?
I'd like to, yeah. Can you hear me? I hear you. Um,
Yeah.
So I'd like to invite you just to take a moment and to bring your
Yeah.
awareness to your breath. And don't worry about breathing
Okay.
deep. Don't worry about like having to have it be a certain way. Just bring your awareness to your breath.
Yeah.
Okay. And take a moment and just start to notice if there's anywhere in your body that feels safe or like home. And don't worry if there's no place. Just let me know if there's a place in your
So it
body
feels
that
safe
says,
or home.
yeah,
I just feel it as like a place of
okay, a
home, but like
place.
right now, I don't feel at home at all.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. And so, what I'd like you to do is to bring your awareness to the area in the center of your chest. And it can be the area of your heart center, or it can be up a little higher between the heart and the throat. It doesn't matter, just wherever you can go. And I'd like you to imagine in this area in the center of your chest, I'd like you to imagine, we're going to go with that color rose, okay? Because that came up for you earlier.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to imagine a rose crystal or a rose heart, anything at all, just anything that feels stable. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to imagine a beautiful string or a rope connected to this beautiful rose in the center of your chest. And I'd like you to
Yeah.
drop this string down to your belly. Just imagine, it doesn't have to connect
Okay.
to anything there. Just imagine it flowing
Yeah.
down to the belly. And now
Yeah.
imagine it flowing all the way down through your legs, all the way down to the center of the earth. And
Okay.
if the center of the earth feels too far, even 10 feet down to the earth is great. Mhm. Now I'd like you to breathe up this string that's down in the earth. Maybe you could tie it to a tree root down there.
The
And I'd
string
like
from
you,
my heart to a tree root.
yeah.
Yeah. And just to ground myself better.
Yeah, just to ground yourself better. And don't worry if you don't feel more grounded yet. Now I'd like you to
Yeah,
breathe
that's
up
okay.
this string into your heart. 3 breaths. And as you exhale, I'd like you to imagine rose flowing out the center of your heart. And this might sound weird, but I'd like you to call in on the energy of deer, like a deer, like a elk. I get deer more than elk, but like a deer. Breathing in the gentleness of the deer. Breathing in.
A gentle.
Yeah, I know it sounds a little weird, but there's deer energy around you.
No, it's okay.
And then breathing that pink energy out through your heart. And one more time. And then I'd like you to
chills on my maternal side.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm seeing eagle energy. So for the next 3 breaths, I'd like you to breathe all the way up, this time to the throat. And as you exhale, breathing out the blue, color blue through your throat and calling on in the energy of an eagle, the wisdom of the eagle. And 3 times. Yeah. And blue, if you can imagine blue moving through your throat. And your third eye feels very open and activated. And we've only got about a minute left.
That's actually the name of the book that I dreamed of. Blue Eagle Connections.
Oh, really?
I'm not even joking. That's the name of the book I dreamt of.
I believe you. Now I've one more thing we're gonna do, and then I'm gonna have to close just because my show is over, or will be over. But I would like you to tap into either your heart and throat, and just ask for a message right now that will give you support. Word, a symbol, anything at all. And don't worry if nothing comes.
Like I said, I'm getting chills on my left side of my body, just the left side.
Yeah, so just allow that. What I would recommend is I would invite you to do these 3 breaths, to imagine dropping a cord down once a day, and then 3 breaths into the heart with the energy of the deer, and then 3 breaths into the throat, breathing out through the throat with the energy of an eagle. And blue, pink and blue. And if any questions come, just feel free to find me on my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Asrael.love. It's beautiful to connect with you, Danny. It feels like it was really meant to be. And I'm sending you so much love. I do have to say goodbye now. I want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody for listening. So powerful to share. And remember, we're not alone. We're all in this together, and we're all moving through this huge transformation. And it's not always easy. So sending you so much love, and wishing you the most beautiful day. Namaste.